August 25th, 2025, Washington, D.C. Outside the White House, cameras wait in the humid summer air, ready for what seemed like another routine briefing. But inside, President Donald Trump is about to confirm something that pushes this gathering onto the front pages of the world, a fresh conversation with Russian President Vladimir Putin. It comes just days after Trump hosted Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky and European leaders in the same building, vowing solidarity against Moscow. Now pressed by reporters, Trump acknowledges what many suspected but none had yet confirmed. He and Putin have spoken again. In classic Trump fashion, the admission is delivered casually, almost as an aside. Yes, I have, he says, when asked whether he had spoken to Putin since the White House meeting. And then comes the detail. Every conversation I have with him is a good conversation. And then, unfortunately, a bomb is loaded up into Kyiv or someplace, and I get very angry about it. The remark captures the contradictions of the Trump presidency: praise for Putin's tone, frustration at his actions, and a claim that an end to the war may be closer than the world believes. For much of the briefing, Trump had been focused on domestic talking points, boasting of crime crackdowns, signing executive orders on bail reform, and even threatening jail time for burning the American flag. But it is the war in Ukraine and America's role in it that hangs over this session. Trump insists the conflict can be resolved. He points to Putin's unusual visit to Alaska earlier this month as proof. To Trump, the trip was not just symbolic, but a signal, evidence, he argues, that Moscow may be looking for a path out of the war. Still, the president admits war is unpredictable. Of the 7 I settled, I thought this would be the easiest, he says, before quickly adding, you never know what's going to happen. The message: despite optimism, Ukraine remains a war defined by uncertainty. Then the questioning shifts. News breaks in the room. An Israeli airstrike in Gaza has killed civilians, including journalists. Trump appears caught off guard. I didn't know that, he replies. His response is measured. I'm not happy about it. I don't want to see it. At the same time, we have to end that nightmare. The exchange underscores the fragile balance America faces: defending allies, condemning tragedy, and keeping its own diplomatic path open. Soon after, another reporter presses Trump on domestic security. Would he order National Guard troops into cities even if governors resist? His answer is unflinching. I am, he says, pointing to Chicago as proof of local failure. He insists that Governor J.B. Pritzker should already be calling for federal help. The message is clear. Trump sees himself as ready to override state leaders if he believes public safety demands it, a posture certain to inflame critics, but one consistent with his political brand. And then back to Ukraine. Asked about security guarantees for Kyiv, Trump reframes the question. Europe, he says, must lead. They are geographically closer and responsibility falls first on them. But the United States, he adds, will be there as backup, willing to help and to stop seeing people being killed. It is a line designed to project both restraint and reassurance. America as supporter, not sole guarantor. Yet for Ukraine, still reeling from daily strikes, the nuance may feel thin comfort. The context matters. Just a week earlier, Zelensky stood in Washington urging not only guarantees, but unwavering Western resolve. European leaders, too, pressed Trump for clarity. Tonight, the president's words provide some, but not all, of the answers. What emerges from the 30-minute exchange is a portrait of a leader oscillating between optimism and outrage, between domestic showmanship and international calculation. He praises conversations with Putin as good, yet condemns the bombs that follow. He dismisses studies on crime while promising federal crackdowns. He pledges European leadership in Ukraine, but insists America will remain the ultimate backstop. For critics, these contradictions fuel uncertainty. For supporters, they reflect a president willing to confront problems directly, even bluntly. Either way, the implications stretch far beyond Washington's press room. As Trump departs the stage, the cameras catch the final moments. Journalists still typing furiously, aides hustling behind the president, the weight of his words already echoing abroad. In Moscow, Kyiv, Brussels, and Tel Aviv, allies and adversaries alike will pass every sentence for meaning. Donald Trump's confirmation of yet another call with Putin may seem, at first glance, like a small detail. But in the middle of a grinding war in Europe, with tensions rising in the Middle East and political battles flaring at home, it is anything but small. In his own telling, each conversation with Putin is positive, each bomb that follows a betrayal. Between those two poles lies the fragile thread of diplomacy, and the hope, however slim, that it might one day bring the war to an end. From Washington, this is the story tonight. A president balancing anger with optimism, crime crackdowns with foreign policy, and America's role as both enforcer and negotiator in a dangerous world.
Well, thank you very much. It's a very important day. The thing we're here today to talk about is crime, and specifically in D.C. I am so proud of what these people, every one of them, what they've done. We actually arrested a total of well over 1,000 people. We took hundreds of guns away from young kids that were throwing them around like it was candy. We apprehended scores of illegal aliens. We seized dozens of illegal firearms. There have been 0 murders. It's 49 homeless encampments have been removed. I don't like a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I'm a man with great common sense, and I'm a smart person.
What this executive order does, it charges your Attorney General with identifying jurisdictions all over the country that have cashless bail policies.
Okay, we'll sign right here, right?
Sir.
So important. So important. And this isn't Republican, Democrat. This is, and by the way, most Democrats agree with us. But this is just, we got to bring our country back. And what the penalty is going to be, if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail, no early exits, no nothing.
We thought it was only appropriate to present you with an honorary United States Marshal Service badge. And this
well, you really went from one question to the next. You go from one. I expected him to at least challenge me a little bit. Now we're talking about boots on the ground. But I think terrible. Hello. Who is that back there? All right, get out of the room. It went up because I'm very proud of the people behind me. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Have you spoken to Putin since last Monday?
Yeah, I have.
What is your conversation? Or share?
Every conversation I have with him is a good conversation, and then unfortunately a bomb is loaded up into Kyiv or someplace, and then I get very angry about it. I think we're going to get the war done. It's tough. I thought that would be, of the 7 that I settled, I thought that would be the easiest of the group. See, you never know what's going to happen. You know, war, strange things happen in war. The fact that he went to Alaska, our country, I think was a big statement that he wants to get it done. That was not easy for him to go to Alaska, you know, for him to come here.
Israelis bombed a hospital in Gaza that killed 20 people, including 5 journalists.
When did this happen?
This happened overnight, today.
I didn't know that. No.
Any reaction to this? Are you
Well,
going
I'm
to
not
talk
happy
to Prime
about it.
Minister?
I don't want to see it. At the same time, we have to end that whole nightmare.
Are you prepared to order National Guard troops, though, into American cities if those governors don't request the federal deployment?
I am, but I also think that, look, Chicago, everybody knows how bad it is. Everybody standing there knows. We know. You don't have to be doing any studies. They should be saying, please come in. Pritzker should be saying that. You know, I did.
U.S. air assets over the skies of Ukraine as part of a security guarantee. Wouldn't those U.S. airmen also be in danger?
You don't know what security guarantee is because we haven't even discussed the specifics of it. And we'll see. Number one, Europe is going to give them significant security guarantees, and they should because they're right there. But we'll be involved from the standpoint of backup. We're going to help them. And I think if we get a deal, and I think we will, but if we get a deal, you're not going to. I don't believe you're going to have much of a problem. But we'll back it up because I want to stop seeing people being killed. You know,